Spencer gets the closest he has ever been to home. In Episode 5, Alexandra faced significant challenges, although Spencer's story was more subdued. The fact that Marshall Fossett, played by Jennifer Carpenter, finds Spencer while searching for Tiana and those pursuing her was fantastic. My favorite aspect of the series has always been Brandon Sklenar's character's tale. But I've been waiting for him to come home for a while, and it was thrilling to see Spencer no longer alone in his bubble. Nevertheless, I hoped he would work with her to save Tiana. Although that may not have been possible, it was interesting to observe how the two interacted. The fact that Spencer's family will now be aware of how close he is to home is another significant advancement in his journey. By speaking with Sheriff McDowell of Robert Patrick, Fossett is able to verify that Spencer is who he says he is. At the end of the episode, Alex is on his way to Winnetka, while Spencer departs Amarillo on a train to Montana. Based on their current locations, Spencer is much closer to his destination than Alex, but she now has wealthy friends who could ease her journey. I was on the edge of my seat as I watched Spencer speak to McDowell because it felt like his journey was almost over and the Duttons would soon learn their war could begin. This is exciting because it has been building for a while, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. Tiana's pursuit by the marshal and the priest was the episode's other plot point. After learning from cowboys who rode with them, they figure out the path she took with their father and Pete. Pete and Marshall Kent are shooting at one another at the end of the episode, and I'm afraid Pete will die, which would heighten the tension as the story nears its conclusion. With disastrous results for those who were not displaced alone, white males harass the area with their unbridled greed. Extractive companies like mining and logging have established themselves, and once public regions have been fenced. Given that Kent and Renault are pursuing Tiana, leaving Amarillo for the north is more than just a mistake. There is nowhere to rest in this desolate and hostile area of the country. Pete quickly splinters away from the group in search of shade and water after Kent runs into him. An exciting but pointless horse chase concludes the altercation. When there is nowhere to hide, it doesn't really matter how swift Pete is in the saddle. When his horse passes out from tiredness, Pete and Kent quickly draw. At the end of the episode, shots are fired. As the show draws to a conclusion, shots are fired, but we won't know who was hit until the following week. It hardly matters at all. Although Pete's passing would be devastating, Kent's passing would most likely foreshadow Pete's passing a short while later. America is everywhere. Alex Dutton is also looking for a family that will adopt her and her newborn child on a very different frontier, the Transcontinental Railroad. When a young mother tells Alex that she lacks the fortitude to endure the humiliation of being an immigrant, she does not find it in her sleeping car. Indeed, Alex is white, attractive, and articulate. Pulchritude has its own armor, much like grit. For instance, the porter permits Alex to work off her meals as a server when she is unable to pay for dinner on the train. A spotless uniform and a reason to be anywhere other than her tiny hut with its haze of dashed hopes are given to her. The role reversal may even help Alex develop as a character because it puts her on the opposite side of the lengthy dinners that she is more used to receiving. They also attempt to explain to Alex how cold Montana will be, but she consistently dismisses them, believing that the cold in England is similar. Alex is likely going to get a harsh awakening on that front, as we have seen from everything that is happening in Montana. Jacob and the other cowboys on their journey back from Bozeman are first-hand witnesses to that type of cold. Even though they made it through the night in the wagon, they still need to locate the horses and start a fire to keep from freezing. While implying that they should leave him behind for a short while, Zane instructs Jacob to use the wagon for firewood because he will persevere and ride a horse the remainder of the way to the ranch. Elizabeth, Michelle Randolph, who continues to resist receiving the rabies vaccination, must learn some harsh lessons from Kara, Helen Mirren, who killed the rabid wolf at the ranch. When the rabies drives her insane, Kara slaps her and warns her to start acting like a grown woman since the alternative is to be shot. Elizabeth gives in but demonstrates her resilience by refusing to take the shot. Fortunately, when Jacob and company arrive with Zane, the doctor is still at the ranch. According to the doctor, Zane has a subdural hematoma, which is a swelling in his brain that must be drained or it would kill him. But since the doctor isn't wearing any anesthesia, Zane will have to endure the treatment while conscious and in excruciating pain. In the meantime, Jack, Darren Mann, experiences some mental distress when he discovers Elizabeth packing to return to Boston. She doesn't want this kind of life, and Jack must accompany her to Boston if he hopes to stay her husband. Elizabeth counts down the seconds till Kara takes another shot. And there are only 8 left. Runs his horse, Michael Spears, provides us a brief update when he locates the rancher who not only allows him, Tiana, and Pete to camp but also offers them a wage in exchange for helping to monitor the cattle as they travel over the plains. Overall, a good deal for the time being. It's not all sunshine and roses for Kent and Renaud, their pursuers. In order to investigate the site where Kent killed the youths who assaulted during the night, the tribe that Kent has been provoking sends Marshall Fossett, played by Jennifer Carpenter. When Fossett finds tracks heading east, she begs the tribe to let her handle it so that justice can be done, but the tribe is more concerned with getting even than with justice. Spencer and Luca, Andy Dispenza, also start to have legal issues. Spencer spots a roadblock in front of them while they are traveling. Since these aren't the type of cops you can buy off, he pulls over and walks over to have a better look. Instead of risking his life for alcohol, Spencer says they must abandon the truck as they look for another route to Fort Worth.